Bible study time. We are back in the Old Testament book of Zechariah, and we are starting chapter 4. This is Zechariah's 5th vision. And let me tell you, it is some stuff to work through, okay? So the title of this chapter is called The Gold Lampstand and Two Olive Trees. So we now see, Zechariah now sees a solid gold lampstand with a bowl at the top and 7 lamps on it with 7 channels to the lamps. And so I took the time to kind of really research exactly like what a gold lampstand would represent, what's its significance. And of course, gold actually represents God the Father. But the lampstand is kind of like, it's a pillar, almost like just like a stand for supporting like a source of light. And the Hebrew word for this is menorah, meaning to flame. And so lampstands were basically used in the temples to bring light to the priests who were inside the tabernacle. They were in the holy place. So it was lighting the holy place. So this lampstand was gold. But the lampstand had a bowl. Then it had 7 lamps on the bowl and 7 channels to it. And then it had 2 olive trees on the right and the left. Okay. And so I kind of like Googled to see if there was like a drawing, like a representation of this, because it helps me so much to be able to see it in my mind. Okay. And I drew this on my iPad here. So it basically looks like this. Like this is the little stand. It goes up. There's the bowl, the 7 lamps, and the channels. Okay. So then we hear about Zerubbabel again. If you studied with me in Haggai, Zerubbabel, he is the governor of Judah. My toddler's right here. But so we see him enter into the picture. So we just talked about Joshua, right? In this vision that he had. Now we're talking about Zerubbabel because they're like a team. They're partners in this, leading the people and leading this rebuilding of the temple. So basically all these verses in the rest of chapter 5 in this vision, the 2 olive trees are going to represent these anointed leaders who serve God, Joshua and Zerubbabel, and they are leading the people to rebuild the temple under God's watchful eye, the lampstands. But God makes it very clear in verse 6, and I love this verse, that he says, "It is not by might or power, but by my spirit." So basically, the 2 leaders must be dependent on God to lead and direct this rebuilding of the temple, to lead the people. So not by man's power or works, but by the power of the Spirit. And this applies to us today. We can apply that verse to us today. Because so many times we try to force things in our own strength or power, but it's the Holy Spirit, right? To guide and direct us. I'm sorry. This is real life. This is studying the Bible amongst being with your kids as a stay-at-home mom. They see me study it. They hear me do these videos. And, you know, discipling your kids in this way, being an example. So if you're like me, like my life is chaotic. Sometimes I homeschool. It's you know, most of the time I try to do this during nap time, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. So if you made it through this video and you're still subscribed to the channel, I appreciate you and I thank you so much. And we're going to start chapter 5 next.